Thanks, folks, for joining us for the last Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Winter Spring webinar. And we're wrapping it up with a grand finale of a very exciting launch of the Vermont Vegetable and Berry Growers Pick Your Own marketing platform, which is funded through a grant through the Vermont Specialty Crop Block Grant. And Julie Callahan, who works with the Veg and Berry Association and soon to be more full on with Extension as well, is here to walk us through the platform. So thanks, Julie.
Great. Thanks for having me today. Vern was hoping to join us, but he got called away to bring his son to the airport. So he just gave me a few talking points to share with you that I'll share later. And I also want to thank the board of directors and the farms who beta tested this system. They're really helpful, along with Hans, who gave Vern and I a lot of great ideas to help build this platform. And then Pete at Tamarack Media, who's responsible for creating the whole VVBGA website and this feature on it. I'll put up my contact info later, but there's my email and phone number if you need any help with pick your own listings or troubleshooting with your accounts on the website at vvbga.org. It's where you'll access this feature. All right, and I am also when Vern talked to the growers about what they might want for a marketing platform on the site, they suggested pick your own. So sort of the purpose of this, and there could be the possibility of adding other market types in the future to the website. We tried to design this so it's going to be super simple to use and that growers can go in and add and update their information anytime. It's not like other listings where you're trying to find out who to email to change something that's wrong on your listing. I'm also going to highlight what the public-facing site looks like today and how you search that via a map or a list. And we're hoping to launch this site in June, but we need enough growers to create a pick your own listing. So this looks like a robust site for customers to come to. So spread the word. So for this is what the public interface is going to look like. We haven't made it public yet. This is just something you can view when you log into your account and go to pick your own listing. So Vern wrote some text here just to describe pick your own to people that might not be familiar with the concept. And this is where you can search by a map or search by a list. We also wanted to make sure that this was going to function well on a phone, especially for folks that are traveling and looking for things to do in Vermont related to agriculture on their phones. So if you're the kind of person that likes to search on a map, there's a drop-down box where you can look at a crop, or you can just scroll around on the map, click on one of the little farm icons, and it's going to show you where that farm is located and what pick your own crops are available. For folks that prefer to look at stuff in list form, you can look at a list, searching by distance, crop, and then once you click on that tile, this is going to give the information that you choose to share about your farm, your address, the best way to contact you, what crops you're going to have and the availability. You can describe your farm, hours, payment methods. And this is also going to tell customers when you last updated this, so they know that this is updated for this year. So whether you've just got one crop like strawberries, or you have several crops throughout the season, this can have listings for all of those. So once you log into your Vermont Veg and Berry Growers account, on the left-hand menu here is where you navigate to the pick your own listing. And this example is from my farm where I haven't created a listing. And so the first time you go in, if you want to see those pick your own listings like I just showed you, you can click view all listings and that'll take you there. Or if you're ready to create a listing, you select add your listing. This is going to take you to the pick your own listing screen where there's drop down options for each of those fields. So when you click on the little arrow here, the box highlights in brown and you're giving a field that you can fill in. This is one where you're going to click on the crops and then boxes will open so you can put that harvest window in that you saw. And the other important feature on this is that you'll click save at the bottom. And then you'll come back to the home, pick your own screen. And this is going to confirm that your changes have been saved. And once you have a listing, you're now going to see an option where you can view the listing. So you can see how that can look to the public. You can go back to that form and edit your listing. And you can also delete your listing if you've decided to get out of pick your own or take a year off. That way folks aren't contacting you. So you have total control over your own farm listing. So the next steps for this is we're trying to spread the word to get more folks to put their farms on here for pick your own. So please create a listing. We'd like to be able to market this website across Vermont in time for the strawberry pick your own season. And the board and the pick your own beta testers gave us a bunch of great ideas for folks to reach out to help publicize this. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to demonstrate how this is actually going to look in real time, how to create a pick your own listing at the VVBGA website. So I'll just go back to the home screen. So when you go to vvbga.org, this is the landing page you're going to see. So first, I'll show you if you already have an account. If you don't currently have an account with a VVBGA, there's an option here to create a farm account. So we go to farm member login. And if you don't know if you have an account, you can contact me. I can send you your login information. I know we all have so many accounts, we sometimes forget what email we use to sign up for different accounts. If you remember the email, but you forgot your password, there's a nice little request to reset your password link down here. I just need to look up my password. Okay. So this is what it'll look like when you log into your farm account. The first thing you see is your membership payment status. And then there's the left-hand menu here where you click on pick your own listing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete my listing so that we can start from scratch. So now I'm at the screen when you don't have a listing. So we can click on add your own listing. And I personally like to start from the top so I don't forget to fill in any of the fields. So the important thing about street address is that you want to make sure you put in a mappable address so that is going to show up and be searchable on the map. And I'm just over the Vermont border in Cambridge, New York. And here under your contact and social media, what I would suggest is fill in the fields that will be updated with your pick your own information or the ways you want people to contact you. If you prefer they call the farm stand, you can just put phone number and not put an email in. If you only regularly update your Instagram, you can just put your Instagram. So customize it in a way that feels right for your farm, like on crop availability. So this, there's going to be several fruit choices here: flowers, pumpkins, a general vegetable choice, and other. So I'll just fill in a couple so you can see what it's like. So when you click on the flower icon, it's going to prompt you to add your availability. So let's say you pick flowers from late July to frost. And then I have some vegetables. So maybe I do an outdoor tomato you pick in September. And then let's say there's something else that I want to add. Right here, this gives you an example that pops up that you can't see, like currants and plums, late July to August. So let's say I have plums in September. The next section is the hours and payment. So we've left the hours field so you can put in whatever days and hours work for you. And then the payments, this is just like where you click on them and they're going to appear, whichever choice is. There's also an other box where you can put in another method of payment if we haven't covered it here too. And then the last thing would be you can put an image, either a farm logo or a picture of fruit or some activity going on at your farm. And then this is where you can put in your description. And then probably the most important thing to remember when you're done with all of this is just to hit the save button. And then you'll know that this worked because you're going to see that confirmation. Your changes have been saved. And now if you'd like to see your listing, you just click on view your own listing. And this is the tile that's going to appear to customers on that public site. And I would highly recommend putting an image because this does look a little lackluster without an image. I just didn't have one ready to upload here in this example. One thing that's a little weird is because this is still in the testing stages, we haven't made it public. If you want to get back to the site, click on the Veg and Berry Growers logo. And this is going to take you back to the menu. So if you saw an error in the pick your own listing, or you want to interact with something else on the site, this will take you back. So if you saw a problem in listing, just click on edit your listing. And you can go back in there and edit. And now your button's going to say update. If you made any changes, you just click update and your changes will be saved. So that's the basic overview of the site. Does anybody have any questions I could address about this?
Julie, I had one quick question,
Yeah.
which is, I know you looked at a lot of other sites, and I'm wondering how, a lot of other pick your own sites, or maybe not a lot, but of the ones you saw, how is this one different, and how does it meet some of the things or improve on some of the things you saw that were problematic?
So I guess one of the biggest problems I saw was that growers don't have control over their own listing. So you're scrolling around on the site trying to figure out who do you email to update this listing if it's incorrect. So that's why this is going to be all grower driven and you can update everything yourself. I guess the other things that I saw looking at other sites is that the map features weren't always easy and intuitive to use. So this could, Vermont Veg and Berry Growers is Vermont centered. The map always centers on Vermont. And that it's pretty intuitive to be able to go in here and just click on and interact with these icons. Probably one of the other things that's different about this is the search feature. A lot of them require like location information on your computer or phone. And if that's not functioning, sometimes it's hard to filter by how many miles something is from you. So I'll just put in an example here, is looking for things within 50 miles of where I'm located. And so this now filters the choices. And sometimes this functionality doesn't work well on other sites. So I guess those are sort of the things that we saw on other sites that we tried to address with us. Does that answer your question, Hans?
It does. And I have one thing too that has occurred to me early on that I would add to that. And it is that there are how many Veg and Berry members that are growers in the state right now that are actually on this website already? I mean, on the platform?
It's over 250. I forget the exact number, but it's a lot.
Yeah, so there's a lot of growers out there already, or on this platform already. The information is already up there. And so that occurred to me early on, is that it's not a new thing for a lot of people. It's sort of using the existing stuff to just get more out of it and get your information out there. One-stop shopping more.
I have a question. Could you go back and show how one would put a logo in or a photo?
Yes. Okay. Let me see. So we'll go back to edit the listing. Maybe I can find an image. So we would go to pick your own listing image and we'll browse for an image. Oh, here we go. I helped a grower upload this label. So I'll upload this label. So once you upload that, you're going to see a thumbnail. So you know you got the right image. And then once you upload that file, you can hit update. And now we'll go to the listing and see how that views.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah. So that'll show up there.
Okay. And another question. Is there a capability to put in a local map that would focus more directly on where the location of the farm is?
So like a visual map, like a JPEG, a photo file of a map?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
The,
Right now we,
Google Maps and things like that don't give good directions to our farm. That's why I bring it up.
because right now we can look into adding something like that. Right now, the only image file we have is where this sort of logo or other image goes. And then the description's all text, so you could put something in the description. I can ask our web developer if it'd be possible to also put a photo in the description of a map like that to help direct people. I'll put that
Okay.
down as a question to ask.
Then, is it possible to put the map in addition to the logo? In other
Right,
words, can you
yeah,
put two
right
things
now,
in?
not yet, because this logo is going to be shown on this little tile here. So it's sort of like there's just one image that fits in kind of visually
Yeah.
when you click on the farm. So I think the description might be the place I can ask if it's possible to be able to
Okay.
put another image file or just another field to put another image in your listing. That's definitely in the possibility. But
Yeah.
I'll ask our
And
web developer if we can do
that brings me to my third question, if I'm not taking too much time, and that is
Oh, please go ahead.
how many characters can be put in that general box at the bottom?
Now let me go. I'm going to go directly to the box. So in this pick your own description box here, I have to say, I am not sure. That is another question I'd have to ask Pete and get back to you.
Yeah, because if we cannot put a map, then we would be interested in putting a more precise set of directions in, because there's no cell phone service,
that would,
and where Google Maps and that sort of thing are not precise for us.
mhm.
Otherwise, I'd like to comment that for someone who's not technically proficient, this looks like it's easy to do. I think you've hit the target with a bullseye.
Thank you. Yeah, and if you want me to get back to you directly about these questions, yeah, I can take down your contact info, or I provided mine so you can get in contact with me to
Yeah,
offer any help.
I'll send you an email.
Okay, perfect. Great. Any other questions from folks?
Yeah, Julie, I agree. I think this is so good and spot on with like, it seems usable on both ends, like the picker and the farmer. Couple quick questions, and I should be more familiar with this than I am. Is there any way to like note seasonality or like closed open on that? Like if you're browsing, could a farm just have a little like symbol? Like, could there be a symbol that's like, this is currently open or currently not?
Right now, just that crop availability is the only place to indicate that. Or if
If you go to
somebody,
that,
yeah, that's the only place.
like, can you go back to that page where you showed all the farms? Like if you're searching.
Yeah.
Yeah, so right there, I wonder if there'd be, again, another image spot that could just be like a turn on and off button. So that when somebody's doing a quick search, they can just see if something's currently open or closed.
Okay.
Not so much by the hours, but by the season. If a farm's only offering strawberries, then their listing could stay up, but maybe it's just like obvious to the searcher that they're not, open at the end of August or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. And we can revisit this. We talked about it a little bit, is trying to see if there could be like a search by month feature. Like if it's July and all the farms that have something offered in July. And it's something that could possibly be added in the future if there was enough interest in it. It would just mean creating some more structure on the back end. And then you're gonna have to fit your harvest window into like a month. But some growers seem to use descriptors like until frost. So that's why we went with this sort of open description. But that's definitely within the realm of possibility to add in the future.
Yeah, and I would lean towards your inclination on that one. Like, I think steering away from the specifics, but I think if there was just a like really obvious, like open, closed, kind of
Mhm.
thing. And if the farmer forgets to put that on, that's maybe, I mean, maybe that's gonna be the losing point, is them forgetting to note that, but I don't know. I can imagine like the user like driving to a place and then being like, well, it didn't say it was closed on the pick your own finder. I don't know.
Yeah, that
And
could also
then
be adding customer language at the top of like, please check with the farm before you go there, could be.
that might be simpler.
Yeah, and I always try to
Maybe.
think there's usually two solutions. Like there's like the text solution to teach people how to find the information, and then there's the one that automatically does it for you. So yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, I think that's much more fail safe. It's like call before you drive.
Yeah. But that's the great thing about this, is because the web developer makes this, we can take grower suggestions and this can improve and change over time. So this is like our first test year, and anything that isn't great about it, we can go back and update it and keep making it better. So yeah, keep suggestions coming.
Yeah, my only other thought, it would, and I don't know if this makes any sense either, but building out some ways so you know what facilities are available. I'm just thinking about like parents, like, is it like, are there play structures? Is there like a bathroom or a changing room? You know, like knowing kind of the level of like the visit. Is it ADA?
I'm just writing these down. Yeah, and these could be future additions as we get traffic to this site, so that we can make these listings more detailed, more options for sorting, or that a grower can check on to automatically build out their description. So,
Yeah, and
totally.
maybe that's just guidance in the description section, is you have like some guiding questions like, you know, yeah, is there running water? Are there bathrooms? Is this ADA? And is there like fun things for kids to do?
Yeah, and that's one thing that we could build out a little more pretty easily. So the
If
one
I
thing
could-
that Pete
if-
did, let me see if I can make it, is give this example description to maybe try to make people think about some of those things. And we can change this to hit on that. So as growers are reading this, they might be reminded of those other things they could add about being family friendly, having bathrooms, being accessible.
I was wondering if maybe along these lines, you could have a separate box or section that says something like ground rules or do's and don'ts, because those are very good points that are brought up. For example, we require people to wear shoes. They can't go barefoot, and I'd certainly want somebody to know that before they show up.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's possible. It's possible to add some more boxes here that could be filled in for these sorts of things.
Great.
Yeah.
Terrific.
Great.
Thanks
Yeah,
for those suggestions. This is the kind of stuff that's super helpful. And frankly, all these like the CAPS platform as well, has really been built over the years by those kinds of suggestions.
When do you think this will go live?
if there's enough listings, June. And I think I wish Vern were on here today to speak about it, but I think doing some different press releases and things, so this goes out on the social media, Agency of Ag newsletter, NOFA Vermont. We got a whole list of organizations, but Vern wants to wait till we have enough people on this site so that it looks good, that it looks like a real resource that was done well, and then it would get released. So as soon as June, yep.
So does this mean that we can fiddle around with it now?
Yes, please do. I would encourage everyone to create a listing. You can always delete it later. Go in, try this out, see how you like it, send me suggestions, and we can keep working on and improving this.
Good.
Yeah, tell your pick your own neighbors. And oh, one other thing that I could do is I should log out here and just show if you are not currently a member, you can come in here to create a farm account. And this will give you the prompts. Anything where there's a red star is a required field. And for a username, I just suggest using your email address again. You never use this field again after you create this account. And joining the VVBGA, You don't have to pay anything. It's on a sliding scale. You can pay nothing, 25%, 50%, 75% of the $80 membership fee. So we don't want this to be a barrier to anybody to be able to join and use this resource. So basically just fill out the required fields of this form, hit create a new account, and that's going to bring you right into the platform where that I've been showing you as a logged in member, in case there's anyone that watches this recorded webinar that doesn't already have a VVBGA account. Any other questions or comments from folks?
Well, I just want to thank you, Julie, for all the work, awesome work you've done on this.
You're welcome.
And it's
And
great to have your experience as well and know-how from years of doing this in one form or another. I mean, not pick your own necessarily, but for me.
Great. Yeah. So there's my info. Yeah. If anyone has any questions or any more comments as they interact with the platform.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for everyone that came today.
Thanks, Julie.
Awesome.
Thank you very much.